The hunt is ongoing to find the debris of objects shot down over Lake Huron and Yukon. The Royal Canadian Air Force is searching those areas. The CBC's Magda Gabrisalesa has the latest on efforts to recover the objects that were shot down on the weekend.
The searches are really in the early stages, and let's just recap the whole situation. So that first object went down over Alaska on Friday, then another in Yukon on Saturday, and a third went down in the Lake Huron on Sunday. This one was actually first detected over Canada initially, then it was on the radar in the U.S., and eventually they took it down there in Lake Huron. And officials believe that the debris landed on the Canadian side of the lake. So the search for that is still ongoing. A Canadian icebreaker with a drone is part of that search. Then you have the one in Yukon. Here is more on what they're doing to locate the object there from Canada's Defence Minister.
I want to indicate that the terrain is extremely rugged. It is extremely remote. The temperature is approximately minus 25 degrees Celsius there, and there's heavy snow. So the recovery effort is difficult.
Now, Canadian and U.S. officials are cooperating on trying to find that object, but officials are saying that they might not be able to recover anything because of the terrain. So without those objects recovered, what we know about them is very limited. We basically know what officials say they learned as they were tracking all three objects. And they say that those objects didn't pose any threat to anyone on the ground. They were unmanned. They weren't sending any signals or information, but they couldn't say for sure whether or not the objects had surveillance capabilities. And so the concern is that they could also interfere with domestic flights, so they chose to shoot all three of them down, and the search for those objects continues.
And Magda, the U.S. recovered those remains of a Chinese spy balloon. That was the first object to be shot down about 10 days ago. So what more do we know about that now?
Well, the U.S. military released some new pictures of the recovery effort, and they've been able to retrieve most of that suspected Chinese spy balloon. We know that they actually got the balloon part of it a while ago, but now they say they've pulled out all the electronic parts from the ocean. Sensors are part of that stash, and CBS is reporting that a large part of the antenna has been found as well. Now, China has always maintained that the balloon shot down was a weather balloon, that it mistakenly went out off course. And again, today you had China's foreign ministry making its own accusations, accusing the U.S. of flying balloons over China several times over the last year. This is something that the U.S. has denied. Also, China has denied knowing anything about these last three objects. And again, at this point, U.S. officials, Canadian officials don't know anything about those three objects when it comes to where they came from or what they were doing. Hillary?
The CBC's Magda Gabrisalesa for us in Washington.